to another episode. My name's Ashley. I'm your host. I'm a postpartum doula. I train with newborn mothers. And I'm also a motherhood guide. I like to call myself a guide because I see myself guiding women from this amazing transition from being a woman to going to be a mother. And basically, there's no one out there who is going to guide you, which is what new mothers need. First-time mums. We need someone to guide us, not tell us what to do, how we should do it, what we should buy, what decisions we should make for our pregnancy or birth, or, what kind of mother we should be. Basically, the reason why I've embraced this title as guide is because it's a gentle transition. It's guiding you through, giving you many options, giving you so much information, but making it simple so you don't have to, source the internet for thousands of articles and blogs and podcasts and videos to discover this information on yourself. You're basically being held with love through this amazing transition because it's exciting. It is terrifying. It is crazy. It's this whole new world. It's like overwhelming information overload. It's the fear of the unknown, or not knowing what is happening once you have that baby. You can sit there and imagine what it will be like when you have a beautiful baby in your arms, and just thinking about it. I remember being a first-time mum, I was thinking about what it would be like once my baby was here, and I just couldn't wait for those days to tick by so I could finally meet my baby. I just wanted to have her in my arms. And at that point, the whole time I didn't know what I was having. So I was like, are you a boy? Are you a girl? What can I name you? What clothes are you going to have? What's your nursery theme going to be like? There were so many different things that I had to think about. So basically, I make women's lives more simple. Women who want to overcome isolation, overwhelm, and exhaustion, and go on that journey with someone basically guiding them, holding their hand, and making life simple, fun, practical tips, lots of resources, and we're going to get through this together. No mother is the same. Everyone's unique. You are definitely unique, and you come with your own unique set of challenges, your own fears, your own issues. You come with your own set of support. You have your own support circle. Maybe you have lots of family and friends, or maybe you don't have many. Maybe you've recently moved, or maybe you don't have a huge network of people. So basically what I do is support women, which is amazing, right, on this motherhood journey. So that's a little introduction about me and what I do. I also, because I haven't really done this before, I also wanted to let you know a little bit more about me. I am a mother of two. I have two beautiful girls named Rosalie and Annabelle. Rosie's 4 and Annie is 2. So I've been on this wild motherhood journey for just over 4 years. I have made many mistakes, as all mothers do, and there's nothing wrong with making mistakes. It's our path and our journey to motherhood. And today I'm going to have a chat with you and share some of my knowledge and wisdom in regards to mothering your way. So I've got 3 steps to mothering your way. We live in this world, like I said to you before, where we have experts and we have people telling us what we should do and advocating for this and advocating for that. And we turn to our friends and ask them what they did, what did you do when you came to XYZ situation? And every mother is going to give you a different answer. Everyone's going to say that they had a different challenge, or they had a different baby, or, their mother did it this way, so they did it that way, or they had the funds to do it this way. So every situation's different. And that's what I found really overwhelming when I had my baby. I was sat in an office, pregnant, turning to my female colleagues. I had 2 women in the room who had had babies before, and they couldn't have been more opposite if I could have tried. One was an Indian lady who was married. They were both married, but one was an Indian lady who had, many traditions and was doing things differently from her culture. And the other lady was Brazilian, and she had her different ways as well. And they were completely different mothers, and it was totally fine. But, when I asked questions like, what car seat did you get? Or did you get a car seat? Did you get a capsule? One was using capsule and swore by it. The other one was using a car seat. Do you co-sleep? Did you put your baby in the bassinet? Did you put a baby in the cot? Completely different answers every single time. So I was sat there left thinking, so which one's right and which one's wrong? And, there is no right or wrong way. It's basically what's right for you. And I feel like this is what happens in motherhood. We set ourselves up and compare because we're looking to those women before us who have been in a situation. They have the knowledge, they have the insight, they have the experience. So why not turn to them for support and ask them what they did right? But the problem is a lot of the time it was right for their situation, right for their finances, right for the car that they had, right for the family dynamic that they had, right for, you know, how they were raised. We all come with our own set of baggage, experiences, and we feel like, you know, I definitely brought into my experience, you know, some of the things that my parents did as with me as a baby. You know, my mother breastfed, so I was like, I'm breastfeeding, you know, it's totally normal, it's totally natural. My mum never said there was any problems with it, so it must be easy, you know. You come in with your own expectations and experiences, and then, you know, you go through it and you're like, whoa, okay, so why didn't my mum tell me breastfeeding's hard? So there's, you know, we're just going through this big transition, and we've all come in, we experience similar things, but we're all coming in on a journey on our own path. So that's why I like to give women choice. I like to give them options. I like to give them information so that mothers can make the best decisions for themselves. Because making the decision that your best friend made, your sister, your mum, or your doctor made is probably not the right decision for you or your baby. And I'm going to help you, you know, discover how you can make the right decision for you and be confident in those choices. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to, you know, be confident in your choices overnight, because this is a learnt thing, right? You not just going to wake up in the morning after listening to this video and be like, okay, I'm totally confident in my choices. You know, even if you make the wrong choices, that's okay, because you're learning, and mothers make mistakes. The only way for you to learn is to make mistakes. And let's be honest, most of the time, they're not going to be like terrible mistakes. They're just going to be like, okay, I can deal with that. I made a little mistake, or we tried that one and it didn't work, so let's try this one. It's all about feeling into the situation, what you feel is right, and, you know, going with that. So the first step is tuning in with your baby. So in order for you to mother the way that you want to mother, I truly believe you need to tune in with your baby. And it starts from birth. As soon as your baby's born, it starts from listening to what your baby's saying to you. Not necessarily, I mean, you're listening to midwives and, you know, health professionals around you, but I truly believe that mother knows best for her baby. Mother knows, even from the moment that her baby's born, even before her baby's born. I truly believe that a mother really knows what's best for her baby. So when you have that beautiful newborn in your arms and you're watching their little micro expressions and you're trying to figure out, what are you doing? Who are you? What are you saying to me? It's that curiosity and that exploration of this journey together that you're going through, that you're tapping into your baby and starting to notice, you know, their little personality, the little things that they do, the little smiles that they make, the little expressions on their face. You'll start to notice, you know, when they're hungry, you'll start to notice the signs. Yes, you can read diagrams and photos, and those things are very helpful to learn, you know, how to understand your baby and tune in. There's many pictures and videos. There's a lady who even teaches you how to speak baby language or understand it. But I found that a little bit confusing as a first-time mum, to be honest with you. I found it so much easier for me, and it's perfectly fine if this is not, you know, your way as well. But it was easier for me to, you know, just watch my baby and listen to my baby and learn, take that, you know, time over the next couple of weeks and months to grow into motherhood and really understand your baby. So, you know, I often had comments from people who were saying, you know, I think your baby needs this, or I think your baby needs that. And I was like, yeah, well, I think you're wrong. Like, I didn't say it, but in my head I was like, okay, well, you know, I think I know what's right for my baby because I'm her mother. And that's what I was thinking in my head the whole time. And it was just amazing how often people love to give me advice or tell me what to do, even though I had a very content and happy baby who slept really well. I just couldn't imagine if I had a baby that wasn't the easiest kind of baby, because it would have really killed my self-esteem as a mum. Because I had a baby that was really content and easy, it was easier for me to, you know, wipe that off and say, okay, you know, I'm not going to listen to your advice. But of course, if you have a baby that's a little bit more challenging, and people are giving you this constant criticism or feedback or information or comments or telling you what to do, it makes it a lot harder to try to really, you know, feel confident about what you're doing. So what I want you to do is tap into your mother's intuition. So you may hear this a lot. People say, listen to your mother's intuition. And I've read articles, I've read comments where people have said, you know, mothers always get the advice to listen to mother's intuition. And people say that, you know, it isn't really good advice. I'm going to say why I think it is good advice. I think that we all come with intuition. We all do. We come with, you know, our whole lives. We've got a whole life experience. So intuition is just a mixture of life experiences, a knowing, a gut feeling, a feeling, and we use it all the time. You know, when you meet someone and you get this feeling about them, you've only just met them, but you know, there may be a bit of a bad apple, so you kind of stay away. You can kind of feel it, you know. Then later on you hear from a friend of a friend, you know, that person was a bit of a dodgy person. You know, that intuition is always with us. We have these senses, and as mothers, I believe that it comes in even stronger. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be like this mother, intuition ninja the moment your baby's born. This is about learning. So you've still got to collect all of that information about your baby. You've got to make mistakes. So it's perfectly okay for you to make mistakes. You need to take some dodgy advice, which is not, you know, it's always well-meaning, of course, okay? People give you advice, but they don't understand the implication of the advice or the impact that it could have. And they don't understand that, you know, the extra knowledge that you have as a mother. You know, they don't know that your baby slept that night and blah, 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 or you had a traumatic birth and blah, 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 blah. They just don't have that information when they're giving advice. And I'll give you an example. Somebody close to me had a friend who was feeding her baby water. Now, it's recommended that you don't feed your baby water because they will get all of the liquid that they will get from their formula or from the breast milk. And I was breastfeeding my baby at the time. And I said to this person who was very close to me, who was childless, and I said to them, okay, well, thanks for the advice, but I'm not going to, you know, feed my baby water because she gets everything she needs from her breast milk. And I was actually really offended because I'd done a lot of breastfeeding training before that. I was breastfeeding like champion. My baby was really happy and content. And I was kind of like, okay, why are you giving me this advice? She'd just come from her friend's house who actually had some constipation issues, who was struggling, you know, and it was recommended by a health professional to, you know, have a little bit of water every now and then. The person that was giving me that advice didn't actually understand the process, and they didn't have the extra information. And so they were trying to help me, but they didn't have the full information. So while what they were saying to me was trying to be helpful, trying to be loving, and unfortunately they didn't actually, you know, go down very easily when I tried to explain the reasons why, because they didn't have that knowledge behind them. But it's just an example of people constantly giving you that information and advice. So if I'd listened to that advice, and I have listened to advice before from people, and I've taken it, you know, health nurses or GPs, and I have realised that that probably wasn't the best advice, that I should have been taking it. So the next time they gave me some advice, I had this like feeling, okay, well, last time they gave me advice, it didn't work out. So this time, maybe I should have a think about it and check in with my mother's intuition and see if that's really the best advice that I should be following. Or maybe I need to, you know, have a think about it and maybe go a different direction. So mother's intuition is a mixture of experiences. It's a mixture of, you know, doing things that work for you and your baby, and knowing that patting your baby to sleep, rocking your baby to sleep, feeding your baby to sleep, whatever it is that you're doing, when people might be saying you're making a rod for your own back, your baby's never going to sleep on their own, blah, 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 whatever it is that they're going to say. I think it was from that movie, the Adam Sandler, sorry, this is totally off topic, the cartoon with Transylvania, I think it is, and then the little kid goes, blah, blah, blah. I just want to put that in there. I have kids' movies always playing in the background, so I know all the kids' movies. I'm a cool mum. But so yeah, blah, blah, blah. So whenever someone says to you, blah, 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 you can just think of what I've just said to you and have a bit of a giggle to yourself. But yes, people are going to give you information, advice, and make you feel inadequate as a mother. You may get an overwhelming amount of support and non-judgmental comments. That's probably going to be rare for most people. So tapping into your mother's intuition in this time and saying, look, I know it works. It worked for me last time. It's working for me. I'm happy. My baby's happy. I've tuned into my baby. I know what's right for me. You don't have to have these conversations with these people just in your mind and walk away with a big smile knowing that you're doing the right thing for you. And you know what? If you do make a mistake, so what? You're the one who has to live with that, right? So if you're the one that has to live with the consequences of your choices and your actions, nobody else. And most of the time, it's like, you know, whatever it is, you might end up losing one night of sleep or whatever it is. It's not really a big deal. So that's mother's intuition. So we're tuning in with our baby, we're stepping in with mother's intuition, and stop following advice without thinking about it. So like I said before, taking some time to actually reflect. I'm not saying don't take advice from health professionals or from friends or family members, because it's always nice to hear advice and, you know, listen to other people's experiences. That's what we've been doing for centuries, you know, having our villagers, our aunties, you know, the women before us teaching us how to be mothers and how to breastfeed and, you know, how to feed our babies and things like that. But we do need to listen to where we're getting the information from, you know, whether they're the specialists in their field, whether they know what they're talking about, whether somebody has recommended them, and knowing that they have, you know, the great information about that. So checking in with ourselves and thinking, is that really, you know, something that I want to do? Does that really feel right for me? And, you know, sometimes it's really hard to know if you don't have that experience, right? So that's why having those support groups and having those experts in the field and going to those right people is going to be your best bet rather than going to a generalised person. But again, it's just about listening to, you know, the overall picture and really tuning in with your baby, tuning in with yourself, and working out whether this is the right path for you. So that is 3 steps to mothering your way. So that's basically you're going to have from time to time. People, just to step it over again, you're going to have people who are going to come in with their opinions, their advice, their information, telling you what to do, and you are going to have the confidence after following these steps to actually decide whether that's right for you or not. You're going to have time to actually analyse the way that you want to make decisions and the choices that you want to make. And you're not going to listen to the mother guilt either if you make the wrong decision, or you know, you're worried about hurting Auntie Betty's feelings or something like that because you're not doing it the way that she did it with her children. I know that mothers feel, you know, they can feel other people's how they feel as well, and you want to, you know, show them you're doing a good job, and you want them to appreciate that you're doing a good job as well. So that's pretty much it. Look, I don't want to ramble on anymore. That's 3 steps to mothering your way, and I hope that you found this session helpful. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you found helpful and what you're doing, and I would love to hear from you. Thanks, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching this episode. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, our mailing list, and follow us on our social channels so you never miss an episode. All our details are listed in the description box in YouTube. I look forward to bringing you another great episode next week. Welcome to our circle of support, Mama, with the Motherhood Circle. See you next week. With love, Ashley.